Hi, it's Diana, and welcome back to the Clay County Speaks podcast for our 10th episode. For real this time. But today we're going to be talking with a member of the Latino community here in Clay County, and we're going to be talking about some very real fears that they have with ICE, and especially since they've been ramping up their activity in the Jacksonville metropolitan area. They were deployed under the premise that they were going to be deporting the worst of the worst. But statistics that have come out recently showing that less than 14% of those arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had violent criminal records. Less than 14%. So instead, they are terrorizing local communities and targeting anyone that just fits the profile. I'm sure you have noticed, since I'm sitting alone right now, we are going to be filming this episode a little bit differently because the guest has requested that their identity be kept anonymous. And so for the entirety of this interview, we are going to be blacking out the screen and they will remain anonymous. As always, we frame these podcasts as conversations, not debates. So let's talk about it. So normally I would ask the guests to introduce themselves, but we're not going to be doing that today because we are remaining anonymous. So, but we're going to start with you though. So tell me, how long have you been living in the United States? Do you got family here? Well, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your backgrounds.
All right. I've been in the United States all my life. Born in Puerto Rico, grew up in New York. My family is, you can say, unique. I have German in my family, Italian in my family, and of course Puerto Rican. I've been here all my life. I raised 3 wonderful children who I'm very proud of, who got careers. I raised them by myself. I guess you can say I've been blessed.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. So what did we want to speak about today? Let's start there. You got some big fears going on with whatever is happening out in the world these days.
Yes, my fear right now is what ICE is doing.
You could say whatever you want about this.
I am a United States citizen, born and bred here in the U.S. My fear now is walking out in the streets. Just because I look Latin, I have to fear that somebody might pick me up, just maybe because I didn't have the turn signal on correctly. I have seen firsthand ICE storm an apartment building, or where my co-worker lives at, and her tell me that she's scared. She hears what's going on, and all of a sudden she sees men and women walking downstairs with their children crying, bags, with officers with masks on. Now, that fear is not only with me, but that fear is with all Latin communities, but not just Latins anymore. So I can't go to the store without a slight fear. I mean, yes, I speak clearly. There is a lot of Latin families out here who speak Spanish for a reason to their families. We want to keep our heritage going.
Mm-hmm.
The language, the love, the culture. So a lot of the Latins who's been here for many, many years want to maintain that culture and heritage to be passed down to the family.
As they should. I mean, the United States is supposed to be a melting pot. That's what I was taught in school.
That's exactly right. Um, to be honest, nobody here in the U.S. is native.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I wouldn't be here.
Native. So let's be realistic. We all came from somewhere, and we all started coming through Ellis Island.
That's my literally my grandparents. Some of my grandparents came through Ellis Island. So like if they didn't come through Ellis Island, I would not be here. My parents would not have been here.
I feel the same way. My grandfather, German. What can I say?
Right? Yeah, German. Mine was German and Russian. So they came right on the boat in like the 1930s.
And my father's side, my grandfather's Sicilian. So, we are what we consider the melting pot, what this country was built on. So now why do we have fear?
That's a good question. That's a question that we all would like to know. So you find it hard leaving your house these days too?
I
Are
don't
you
find
scared?
it hard, but I find myself scared sometimes. You know, I mean, what am I gonna get pulled over for a fraction of a light? My light bulb went out, and then they're gonna ask me if I am a citizen. Am I have to carry a passport or anything proof that I am a U.S. citizen?
It's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. Yeah. So, do you feel like when you are out, because you said you still leave the house, obviously, but when you're out, do you feel like people are watching you here in Clay County?
Yeah, especially when you find in corners, you actually see. This is one area that I drove by one time that had a bunch of police officers. It was our officers from Clay County mixed with ICE. So I was just passing by, and the police officer was telling people to move over on the lane, apparently because they were about to take off somewhere. So I actually got scared. I'm like, I didn't know whether he was waving me to come in or waving me to keep moving on.
Right, right, because they could just see through like your windshield and be like,
Exactly.
"Oh, you look a little different. You don't look like me." And then they'll be like, "Come over here," which is totally disgusting. Um, all right. So, and how does that make you feel? Like when you're like out and you see things like that? Like, tell us what you really feel.
Angry because we are a melting pot. When did we stop caring for each other? When did we stop being brothers and sisters to each other? When did we stop being what we call, under God's eyes, family?
Yeah. Right? It is a do unto others as you would wish to have done unto you. I think that's how that goes. Yeah. So I'm pulling from my Coral Springs Christian Academy teachings a long time ago. All right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And you said, have you seen anyone detained? So did you see anyone detained? You said, or no?
Only what my friends advised me of, and then when I went to visit her in that apartment complex, ICE was still there, and I advised her, let's stay in the house in the apartment for a little bit to see what's going on. This was the first time I ever actually saw it firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
and then that same apartment complex a week later had maybe 10 families living in the entire apartment complex. It was the first time I saw an empty parking lot where she lived. She moved out now, but that was the first time I ever saw. And it was a complex that has the front, the sides, and another complex in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I got to see an empty complex.
It was empty, like not a single person living in there now?
I think, if I'm lying, maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
Out of a whole apartment complex, and either they all got picked up or they just scattered for, their safety. Wow. Unbelievable. And that was here. That's here in Clay County. And we're not going to say what. That was here.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone that like has any of your family members gotten detained or?
Not that I'm aware of. Like I said, my family's a mix, um, and I haven't heard anything as far as my family's concerned. Um, I'm when my father remarried for the third time. Um, the family is he married a Mexican woman who I adore very much. Um, Now, my brothers and sisters, you can tell we're all Latins, but you can tell we're all related too.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had any. No one has told me anything so far. Um, but I do have family all over. Some from here to Florida, all the way to Colorado.
Oh, I love Colorado.
So so far nothing. I thank God for the Lord protecting the families. You know, but it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, and at any moment too. They come in like all hours of the day, the night. It's unbelievable. So the Gestapo. It's like 1930s Germany all over again. Like we didn't learn that back in the like we all learned that in history class, right?
Exactly.
At least I learned that in history class. Like American history, world history, whatever. And but now no, I see some people just we're sleeping through that, for sure. Do you know anyone with like children? Are they like getting homeschooled because of this? Because they can't, or they're afraid to leave the house?
I don't have any friends that has minor children. A lot of my friends' children are already career oriented. They're
Oh,
grown.
they're grown. Okay.
So the only friend I have, she's not, Hispanic, who still has a child, so she's 14 years old. And that's the only one I have as friends that has one minor child.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is grown.
Okay. All right. So I'm wondering though, like if people are keeping their kids at home and they have to do like homeschool.
I've heard they even changed the whole living routine, when to go out grocery shopping. A lot of them are not going grocery shopping. So they have to go to food banks.
So because they
Now,
can't even use like a DoorDash or what or Instacart, right? Because they'll
they're
have your information.
exactly they're frightened. So what do you tell these people that the fear is so strong that they can't put food on the table? You know,
Because you're afraid. You're literally afraid to like walk out of your house and show your face because there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras in grocery stores, so you're gonna have facial recognition in
and
grocery stores and
exactly, and God forbid if they get sick.
oh at the hospital, which I think is
Hospitals.
by far I think is might be for me the worst. Like how dare you? Somebody is trying to feel better. They're trying to get treatment. How dare you go into a hospital where like y'all are making money, okay? In the hospital, you're taking away the money from the hospital at that point. You all got deep pockets. That I get a little triggered on that one because like these people are just trying to get better, and you're literally giving money to the community by doing that.
Exactly.
So that is unbelievable. Um, so are you aware of the rights that you
I,
have?
well, as far as a citizen concerned, I know my rights as that. Um, I'm pretty much not very strong on the Constitution, but I know where I can get my information from.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, a lot of Latins, are not aware of their rights or where they can get their proper information or
Okay.
who to turn to. So we'd be happy to have help and give out any information we can, as long as we make sure they stay safe, and that includes me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that includes me. I would hate to drive down the street and then something I get pulled over just because I'm Latin or appear Latin. You know, and a lot of the Latins, like I said, speak Spanish because that's their main language. Now, mind you, a lot of them may speak Spanish, but they've been here long enough to understand English.
Right.
So it gets to a point that they are frightened, I'm frightened, and I'm frightened for them.
As you should be. We all should be frightened for them, but there are certain people out there. All right. Well, for your rights, actually, we do have a little pamphlet which we can actually give to you.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Very
and we are going to be hosting a Know Your Rights workshop, the Clay County Young Dems, coming up on March 15th, for at 2 p.m. It's a Sunday. I'm going to repeat that later. So if you wanted to come in and join us for that at 2, I don't know if you can do 2 p.m. on a Sunday, but if that works for you, we're going to be holding a little workshop to make sure people know their rights. And we have like a little kit I think we're going to give to people.
That'd be perfect.
Beautiful. Now, how has the first year of the Trump administration affected your life, aside from the immigration?
Well, actually, how it affected me was comical because, with all due respect, yes, he's the president of the United States. All right.
Let's use that term loosely.
But the people voted on him even though they saw his true colors. Now, I'm wondering, why is that? I found it funny. When someone shows you your true colors, their true colors, right off the bat, your instincts kicked in. You back off. You turn away. I'm like, he's still here.
Right, a leopard doesn't change its spots.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah. No, like cheating people. Like once a cheater, always a cheater. Usually, sorry if someone is listening to that. That's just my opinion on that. I'm allowed to have opinions. So yeah, but has it like affected in? So nothing for you has gotten better, right?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's still, I'm still doing the struggling. I mean, just like everybody else, a lot of us lives on paycheck to paycheck, so I don't see it now. It's even getting harder. That one paycheck, some families need 2 or 3 incomes just to survive now. So
Yeah.
I don't see any difference. I mean, yes, true. Let's be honest. It always takes some time when the first president does his thing and you could actually see the changes. Well, his changes wasn't made for the people. It was made for him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when did that stop? When you were put into office to be for the people, by the people.
It stopped in 2016. That's when that stopped. 2016. Let's not all forget about that. He wasn't. This is my own personal opinion on this. He wasn't for the people then, and has never been for the people. He's for his pocket, and that's it. He's a business con man, and you know what? I hope they see this. Come for me. I'll drop a pen. So yeah, I have strong feelings on this, to be honest. Okay, but anyways, moving along. What are some of your other main concerns with ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, aside from them snatching people and kidnapping people off the street?
Well, ICE was meant to be what they were supposed to be at the border. ICE is not considered law enforcement here, governed here. What I would like the people to understand, or even me to understand, is when did law stops here? When you start walking down the streets and you start noticing not just Hispanics, you got Afro Americans, you got Asians, you got Armenians. You got if you when your melting pot is now getting scared,
Yeah.
we're the ones that people keep forgetting built this country. The
Yes.
people built this country, all nationalities.
All nationalities, all colors. It does not matter. Honestly, it was like the slaves that built this. Oh no. Did you need a tissue?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. It hurts for the fact that we, as I say, family, have to be scared of your brothers and sisters, for your brothers and sisters, because someone's just gonna say, "Oh, did you make a phone call?" Say, "I think we got a Hispanic living across the street," or "I think we got an alien who's not legally here, walking down the street." When that when did we stop being family and human?
I'll say it again. In 2016, when they had the right, when they thought that they had the right, and it was the door opened up for them to show their true colors and how racist they really are on the inside of them. Ugly, ugly people on the inside. Because before they had to, like tamper it down a little bit because it wasn't socially acceptable. But they made it socially acceptable to say the things that they've been thinking their entire life. And it does not make that right. Well, I'm not defending nothing. It doesn't make that right. But that is where that stopped. Once they realized, they're like, well, if this person can say it, I can say it too.
Yep, and that's also where it should start at home. Morality. When did morality stop? You know, when did your conscience stop? When did your heart become so cold?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people probably have bad home situations. That's an unfortunate reality that a lot of people have to deal with. But they think therapy is not. They think it's a weakness instead of a strength. But yeah, no, a lot of people have lost the path that they should have been on. Like there was a fork in the road, and they took the wrong way. And it's unfortunate. Anyways, there's rumors about. Like I said, we're going to go into voting now. Okay. There are rumors that the current regime is going to have ICE agents at the polls. Has that affected you or anyone you know? Has that directed any additional fear from anybody? Because at first I think that's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Well, personally, everybody has their own right to vote.
Right.
No
absolutely.
one has to be in there, armed or not armed, to prevent anybody, whether Hispanic, Oriental, Black, they're entitled to vote. That is our right. That was given to us. So for ICE to stand there at the door, check yourself, because you're taking away our rights. So if it's taking away our rights, what are the odds it's going to be turned on them and their rights is going to be removed as well?
Yep.
What goes around comes around.
And then they came for me. Absolutely. Yeah, I think honestly that's probably just a fear tactic. I definitely think they're doing on that one. Be like, so they have like people standing guard, and they're going to be like, oh, we're only going to get the people that we want to vote out into vote. And now I'm going to say something. Everybody who is legally able to vote should show up to the polls. This is coming up midterms. This is a very important and big election that's coming up, and it will change the shape of America for good or bad. So who cares if somebody is out there standing around thinking that they're cool because they have a face mask on and they were given a gun. Whoop-de-doo. You show up regardless, okay? I'm being so for real with you. Show up regardless.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So I know we're kind of running out of time here. All right. So do you have any other messages you would like to convey to your community?
Yeah.
Or anything else you want to talk about that maybe I missed that you were like, I want to say this thing?
No. The only thing I have to say was to the community itself, period. Remember, we're family. We're stronger when we stand together.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind, we're family. Hold your head up high and walk with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
We got this.
United we stand.
Amen
Divided
to that.
we fall.
Amen to that one.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on
Thank
this.
you for having me.
Of course. This has been really nice. Well, it's not nice. It's nice to have you here, but unfortunately under the circumstances. But this has been great to tell the community that they're not alone at all. People are out there having the same fears as them, and it's okay. It's okay to be fearful, but you can't hold up. You gotta stand strong.
Amen to that.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank
Oh.
you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, today's episode was a little heavier than our previous ones, but these are very real fears of the community here in Clay County. And these are your neighbors, the same neighbors that you've been living next to for years. Your neighbors who are just trying to go out and make a living for themselves, working. And their children who are just here that are just trying to get the great education that Clay County is supposed to be offering. And it really shouldn't matter their color. We had talked about the Know Your Rights a little bit before. We have these flyers here at the Clay County Dems office, and that gives all the information that you would need to know your rights. We also have a Know Your Rights with ICE pamphlet that you can take if you come in, and you'll get all of the information needed. Again, like I had mentioned earlier, the Clay County Dems, Clay County Young Dems, are hosting a Know Your Rights workshop on March 15th at 2 p.m. here at the Clay County Dems office. The address is 868 Blanding Boulevard, Suite 107, Orange Park, Florida. Or you can just Google it, put the directions in. But we'll be discussing what immigration enforcement looks like here in Florida, because it looks a little bit different than what you see on the TV. How to support your neighbors, and answering any additional questions that people might have. And if you've been looking to just get involved in any other way, we have a community outreach meeting. Our next one is on March 11th. And those are always, those are monthly, and they are always at 6 p.m. Another update I would like to talk about is starting on April 9th, the Clay County Young Dems will be holding their own message. And it's going to be the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m., discussing how to get organized and discussing what the future of the Democratic Party looks like. Now, if you made it to the end of this podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment, like, share, repost, do all of the things so we can get the word out, and tell us what you think. Until next time.